experience further in your life. This will help you a lot. So officially, I will introduce myself. I'm Dr. Partha Roy, Associate Professor, BIT Durg. I'm also the coordinator of this FDP, and I'm going to take the session today of meditation for leading a stress-free life. So I will share a presentation, a small little presentation I will share. So let me know if all of us are able to view the presentation. And am I clear? My audio is completely clear.
Yes, sir.
Your audio and video is both clear.
Thank you. I will just pin it. Hopefully everyone is able to see. So we'll start. So if you have any doubts or queries, if you feel like asking anything, please ask me in the middle itself. Then when we start meditation, I hope that all of us will be enjoying the meditation. So there, I feel that there should be no disturbances. So before that, when whatever we are discussing, you can ask questions anytime. Okay, I will be very happy. You can directly start your mic and you can talk to me directly. Okay, then we'll start now. So the very basic meaning of stress. So it is very easy to identify whether we are in stress or not. It is reaction to challenges. The first thing is that reaction is the main thing. Whenever we start reacting, we develop stress. So reaction is a very natural tendency that we have. If someone has appreciated us, we react. If someone has insulted us, we react. If somebody has ignored us, we react. So reaction creates something, some changes in our brain actually. Some chemical reactions take place actually. So that if it is that the chemical reaction which is being generated, if it is not supporting our mental state, then it becomes stress. So reaction to challenges, reaction to uncomfortable situations, getting dominated, trying to dominate, etc., are the very basic sources of stress that we all generally feel. So the general symptoms indicating stress, so we can introspect and find out whether we are in stress or not. That is, psychological signs are there, such as difficulty concentrating, worrying, anxiety, trouble remembering. Emotional signs are there, being angry, irritated, moody, or frustrated. Physical signs are there, such as high blood pressure, changes in weight, drastic changes in weight, frequent cold or infections, reduced immunity. And behavioral signs, we have poor self-care, not having time for the things that you enjoy, relying more on drugs, and in very bad cases, the situation is that some people take to alcohol to just forget things. So we all try to manage. Actually, we are managing stress. We are unable to reduce it, but we are trying to manage it. So I will quickly come to the concept of an intelligent invisible power. So some of us might not believe in that. If I say there is some power known as God Almighty, Bhagwan, yeah, God Almighty is there or Allah is there. Yes, sir. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. One second. Am I audible now? In
Yes,
link,
sir. Yes, sir,
in
you're
link
audible.
two. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Actually, two links are there. So link to members were unable to hear me. So as I was discussing that when we talk about stress, it is it it actually persists and it expresses itself in our system, in emotionally, physically, our intellectually also. It affects us. So the main thing that I was discussing is that reaction is the main reason why we generate stress in our system. So now coming to the concept of an intelligent power, some people believe that there is nothing known as, we generally say God Almighty or nature, the power of nature. Somebody say that no, there is no God. Somebody say that there is God. But as we are all intellectuals, we are not people who just accept anything without proofs. We always, because we are researchers, we are intellectual people, we should always try to find a proof of any logic or any concept that we are trying to accept. So I will just give a very basic example or basic way of analyzing. It's just a kind of a brain storming that we will do. So can this painting be created by a random event? Anybody can say? Anybody can respond to this? This painting that we are seeing here, I hope all are able to see. So can anybody tell me that can this painting be a result of a random event?
No.
Okay. So naturally, when we see this
No, it
painting,
is not random.
we can observe that the things are very intricately created, isn't it? The color, the leaves, the water that we see, the ducks which are swimming there, the house, the color of the nature that is being portrayed. So we can easily observe that there must be someone who has interestingly and with full interest has created these things and portrayed it and made it so beautiful to look. So this is a point to ponder actually, that this cannot be created by a random event. Definitely, this is a very logical explanation that this cannot be created by a random event because everything is intricate and everything looks so beautiful and beautifully put together, colors and everything. So it cannot be a random event. Definitely, it cannot be a random event. So these leaves, when we observe these leaves, can we say that these leaves are created by a random event? So anybody can respond to it. So are these leaves? So can we say that these leaves just by a random event has suddenly been created? No, because if we can see that the painting that we have seen just now is to be created with full concentration and with actually with love, it has to be created. Then only the beauty will be expressed. Similarly, this nature, the leaf that we are seeing is a part of nature. This cannot be created by a random event. That means there has to be something, some power. There has to be an intelligent power, not a power which does not understand things. An intelligent power must be existing that must have created this beautiful nature, these trees, these leaves, ourselves also. It is being created, and we can, if we see it in a very deep sense, because these things are beautiful. When we see them, we find beauty in them. We are happy to see greenery. We are happy to see the nature which is moving around us, the growing around us. So that means the entire thing is created through love. Without love, these beautiful things cannot be created. Because if somebody is angry, that person cannot create a beautiful scenery like that we have seen earlier. So the nature that we are seeing, which looks so beautiful, so calm and quiet, sometimes the nature expresses its anger, but usually we observe that there is some love, that there must be some love behind it that has created. There's some power is there. We can say the power of love is there. Now this atomic structure. Now coming to again the same question, can this atomic structure be created by a random event? Impossible. Why? You can see this structure. See, at the center we have neutrons, protons, and the nucleus is there, and around it the electrons are orbiting. And if we all are we have all studied physics. We already know that a specific weight is there, a specific speed is there. And why does electrons move around the nucleus? Who has started this? Somebody must have started this, because without starting anything, how can it happen? So the atomic structure that we see, which we already have, our body has that atomic structure. Each and every cell is created by atoms, and everything that we see around us is created by atoms. So that the structure of neutron, proton, nucleus, and electrons, and the speed in which the electrons are moving, the valencies, uh, everything is so well balanced, and it has been created in such a way that it is in a equilibrium. Some balance is maintained. Otherwise, if it would have been created by a random event, then everything would have been ended in a chaos. But it is not. We are not in chaos. When we react too much, then our brain starts creating chaos. That is a entirely different perspective. But usually when we see that we are sitting here before the computer screen is not in chaos. We are not in chaos. We are observing it. Our things are, say, my mobile phone is there. It is not in chaos. It is fixed. These things contain this atomic structure, and this atomic structure has this power that we have to think that who has given this power, who has started this. There must be some invisible intelligent power. I'm stressing on intelligent power, and also I'm stressing on the love that is being expressed by this power. So coming back to our presentation, I think logically we can understand that there must exist an intelligent power that governs the rules followed by nature, because everything which is in an equilibrium, we always see that everything is in a balanced state and everything is working properly. The nature is working properly. We are working properly, and things are there with us that help us to work to give us proper support. So that means all these things must be managed by an intelligent power, and that intelligent power governs the rules of the nature. So that is what we are actually. We are the result of that, the love of that intelligent power. Somebody may say it is God. Somebody say it is the nature, power of nature. You may call it anything, but it is there. The intelligent power exists, and it loves. So it is a fact. So some call that intelligent power as God Almighty. So some may not like to call God Almighty, but it is there. We cannot say logically, if we move logically, we cannot deny the fact that there is some intelligent power that is working every time. It's not stopping any time. It is always working, just like our heartbeat. It works. Can we stop our heartbeat? We cannot stop our heartbeat. Can we start our heartbeat? We cannot start our heartbeat. It works by itself. That auto power, what is it? That is the intelligent power. That is the power of love. Because if I'm always stressing it as the power of love, because it helps us. It is helping us to grow. It is helping us to understand. It is helping us to become intelligent, to logically think about things. It is helping us. So let's start a stress-free spiritual journey and discover inner peace. I will just give you a very simple step, 2-3 steps we can experience now itself. So before starting, I would request all of us to please take out our shoes, if it is possible actually. So I will just request everyone, if it is possible, then please take out the shoes before we start this journey. I'm also taking out my shoes actually. So I have taken out my shoes. I have put my feet on ground. I am relaxed and sitting in a very relaxed position. I will request all of you also to sit in a very relaxed position. Forget about everything else. Just being present. Whatever I am asking you to do, just do it with a very free mind. So the concept is the intelligent power and the love of that intelligent power. So believe in that intelligent power of God Almighty. I say that the power of God Almighty, the love of God Almighty, and just experience it. Try to experience it. So we'll start this journey now. So I will request all of us to take out our shoes and put our feet straight on the ground. We should touch the ground actually. And throughout the entire process, please be seated comfortably and putting your feet on the ground. So coming to the concept that of yoga and health, how the yoga and health are connected to each other. So general belief is that yoga might be some exercise or asanas, but it is just a tip of the iceberg. Yoga doesn't mean only exercises. Yoga means, in Hindi, yoga means addition. Addition, something to be added or something to be connected with. So in ancient science like Ashtanga Yoga, given in Patanjali, Bhrigu Samhita, some advanced steps are being described related to self-realization. What is self-realization? Self-realization is something that you realize yourself as to how your subtle system works. We'll see the subtle system also here. So if we establish an harmony of our subtle system with the nature around us, then the peace start existing within us. So social, material, career, family, these are the outer things that we worry about. Body, mind, emotion, spirit, these are the inner things to be worried about. And when an harmony takes place between the inner sense and the outer sense, or inner system and the outer system, then we establish a balance. So coming to self-realization, this is a very basic concept. Self-realization means a process of connecting yourself with that all-pervading power, that intelligent power, the power of nature, the power of love of God, I say. That is known as the self-realization. So why do we say that it is self-realization? Self-realization means that we can realize ourselves, our system, how it works, how it is working, whether there is a problem in our system or not. So the word sahaja, I want to introduce that word here. Sahaja means simple, and yoga means connection. Yoga in Hindi is yoga, that is connection. In mathematics we say yoga karna, so that is we have to perform addition. So sahaja means simple and yoga means connection. The process of yoga is also called self-realization. In spiritual sense, yoga will be known as self-realization in English, which is realizing the signals coming from one's own subtle system and decoding them. So this is the subtle system. You can observe here, very simple animation is there. Here we can observe that some power is rising from the middle channel, and it is going to the upper part of the head. It is the crown of the head. It is surpassing the crown of the head, and you can observe that there is some channel which is of blue color on the left side. That is the left side of our body, and there is a channel with yellow color on the right side of the body. So these are the main three channels that we have. So all these are described in Puranas, in our ancient scriptures, that we have three main channels, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. Ida Nadi is the left channel, Pingala Nadi is the right channel, and center channel is the Sushumna Nadi. Our evolution takes place through Sushumna Nadi. So our evolution can only take place when we are in present and we are thoughtless. So it is a very big thing to ask for, to become, to be in present and to be thoughtless. Because nowadays we are always worried about either our future, or we are repenting our past, or we are remembering the past, or we are in the future planning things. But it is rarely that we stay in the present. So To be in the present is the first criteria for the evolution, and to become thoughtless is the result of that evolution. So we'll experience that also. So we'll experience that we will be in the present, and also we will be experiencing the thoughtless awareness state also. So our subtle body has 3 main nadis, technically speaking, and there are main 7 chakras mainly. Apart from these, also there are sub chakras also that we will not be discussing here. Just for an introduction's sake, I will just say that there are 7 main chakras which are there. So chakras are the plexus actually. So chakras are nothing but plexus. Here is the diagram of that entire subtle system that we have. So the first chakra is the pelvic plexus, second chakra is the aortic plexus, third is the solar plexus, fourth is the cardiac plexus, fifth is the cervical plexus. You can observe all these things are given here. So we don't need to remember all these things. I'm just giving you a basic idea that this is the system which is being created within us. It is already there within us. So why the divine, or the why that intelligent the power of nature has created these plexus are there. The medical science has already proven, they work on these plexus actually. The plexus are a set of nerves actually that are collected at a particular location in our body. Generally, and definitely they are connected to the spinal cord actually. And the plexus help us to control a part of the body. Say for example, if I say this chakra, this fifth chakra is the cervical plexus, which is also known as the Vishuddhi chakra. So Vishuddhi chakra has some nerves which are connected to every part of our neck, every part of our nose, every part of our mouth, and also optic chiasm actually. That is the eyes and the connection between the eyes. So this particular chakra has a it can control, or it has a control over all these organs. Also, these chakras, these plexus have an effect on our mental state also. So it is not only physically they are affecting us, but mentally also they are affecting us. All these chakras have a physical as well as mental effect on us, and combined with each, when we integrate our mental and physical system, then spiritually it has an effect. So this has three dimensions in which these plexus work. One is the physical dimension, second is the mental dimension, and third is the spiritual dimension. So this is a very basic idea what we are going to actually feel now. And that's why I was trying to give you a basic idea. Hopefully many of us might be knowing all these things. Just is a refresher for them. So I won't discuss too much details of these chakras. We will actually focus on the experience. So any questions till now? If anybody has any questions, please ask. Yes. The nadi of the left side, that is, you can observe the blue color. The nadi of the left side is the Ida nadi. The nadi on the right side is the Pingala nadi. That is depicted by yellow color in the diagram. And the central nadi is the Sushumna nadi. Sushumna. There is a central channel. This is the channel of evolution. So the left nadi, Ida nadi, governs our past thoughts, past deeds. And the Pingala nadi governs our future. That is the planning that we do related to the future. And the activities, the physical activities that we do is being powered by the Pingala nadi. And the central nadi, which is the central nervous system, you can say, within us, is the Sushumna nadi, which governs the spiritual growth actually. This is the nadi of spiritual growth. This is the channel of spiritual growth. So we have a left channel, we have a right channel, and a central channel. So we will concentrate on the central channel actually, because we generally always work through our left or right channels. We seldom use our central channel. Actually, those who are yogis, who achieve the yoga, they are able to use their central channel. So I will try to give you an experience so that we can use our central channel. So that is why I'm more interested in explaining about the central channel. So hopefully all of us are clear with the diagram. If at all not clear, then also it doesn't matter, because actually the main concentration is on the experience. Okay, then should we proceed further? Okay, thank you so much. So imbalances in our subtle system can be corrected using simple exercises, taking food, proper food. Nowadays, we should take more protein to protect ourselves from corona. So food, affirmation in meditation for chakras. There are some affirmations. Say in our Vedas, it is being given that the mantras starting with Om gives a very divine vibration and helps us to improve our health. That is actually proven, and that we can use to cleanse our chakras. 5 elements we can use: water, air, light, earth. All these elements we can use to clear our channels. Asanas we can do to clear the chakras and channels. Also, music also helps us to activate our chakras and channels also. So these are the external ways through which we can do things. But before trying all these things, we should establish yoga. We should establish the connection first, because it is just like we are the, you can say we are the receiver, trans receivers actually. We are like trans receivers. We transmit also and we receive also. So first we have to receive. We have to receive and then we can transmit. But in order to receive and transmit, the connection has to be done. So any device which is a trans receiver, we already know that we have to connect it with a device with some power supply, and then only the trans receiver can work. So that is what we have to do now. We have to connect our trans receiver with the divine power, all pervading power, so that it starts transmitting and receiving. So all these things were guided by me by through Sahaja Yoga. The founder of Sahaja Yoga is Dr. Nirmala Devi Srivastava. She discovered Sahaja Yoga in 1970. Today, Sahaja Yoga is practiced free of cost over 130 countries and UNESCO Peace Partner also. Appointed as honorary member of Petrovskaya Academy of Art and Science, Russia. In the history of academy, only 12 people have been granted this honor, Einstein being one of them. Shri Mataji inaugurated the first international conference on medicine and self-knowledge, which became an annual event at that academy. She is the recipient of numerous awards and recognitions. So the idea is that Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi Srivastava has discovered this technique through which we can awaken our inner power by connecting our system to the system of God Almighty. So what we are doing, trying to do here is that we are trying to connect our subtle system to the divine system which is around us, the nature which is around us. So let's experience the inner peace through self-realization. So the process will start now. So the process is very, very simple. So I will request all of us to please clear our channels first. So in order to clear our channels, first put our left hand towards the photograph. You can see the photograph. I will just put the photograph here. I am putting the photograph of Shri Mataji because Shri Mataji is the founder of what we are doing here. So it helps a lot. Shri Mataji has some spiritual powers which helps us to establish the yoga. So let us experience it. Actually, I want that all of us should first experience it, then only we should believe in it. So the concept that you have just explained, we have to implement that. So I will request all of us to put our left hand towards the photograph that we are seeing here, and right hand on the Mother Earth, towards the Mother Earth. If we are sitting on the chair, we can put our right hand towards Mother Earth. So left hand is towards Shri Mataji, the photograph, and right hand is towards Mother. So if anybody has any confusion, they may ask. So when we are putting the left hand towards Shri Mataji or the photograph that we are seeing here, just ask that Shri Mataji, please remove all the negativity of my left channel. Just request Shri Mataji to remove all the negativity of the left channel. So will it happen or not? Let us see. Let us experience it. Will it happen or not? We just request it and we'll just observe whether our left channel is getting cleared or not. So just request Shri Mataji, please clear all the negativity of my left channel. We just pray that Shri Mataji, please make me ready for the divine yoga, self-realization. Shri Mataji, please make me ready for the self-realization, the divine yoga, the Param yoga. Now we put our right hand towards Shri Mataji, put the right hand towards Shri Mataji, and left hand on the back side, putting the left hand like this on the back side of our head. My video is visible. You can see the video that I am projecting here. I will request all of us to please put the right hand towards the photograph and left hand on the back side of our head, like this, that I am putting here. The left hand is raised up and the right hand is towards the photo. Again here, we will request Shri Mataji, please remove all the negativity of my right channel. Shri Mataji, please remove all the negativity of my right channel. Shri Mataji, please make us ready for the divine Param Yoga. Shri Mataji, please make us ready for the Param Yoga. Shri Mataji, please remove all the negativity of my right channel. Now we'll put our both hands towards the photograph. So this is the position where we are asking for the balance. So we'll request Shri Mataji, please put me into balance. Shri Mataji, please awaken my Sushumna Shakti. Shri Mataji, please put me into balance. Please awaken my Sushumna Shakti. Shri Mataji, please make me ready for the divine yoga. Shri Mataji, please give me the divine yoga. Now, so hopefully all have done this clearing. This is actually balancing part. Now we will put our right hand on our heart, like this. My video is available. You can see in my video. I am putting my right hand, the writing hand, on my left heart. So I will request all of us to put our right hand on the left heart, and left hand is towards Shri Mataji, the photograph. We have to put our left hand towards the photograph. Here, when we are putting our right hand on the heart, we have to realize that without Atma, our body has no use. If Atma leaves the body, then the body becomes useless. That means that proves the fact that we are actually the pure spirit, Pavitra Atma. What we say, we are Pavitra Atma. We are always Pavitra. The impurity comes from thoughts. But if we realize that we are Pavitra Atma, that God Almighty has created us as pure spirit, then we are liberated from the impurities. So we are not thoughts, we are not the ego, we are not the conditionings or practices or habits that we have, we are not the position in which we are the pure Pavitra Atma, pure spirit. So here we have to realize it. We have to say, Shri Mataji, I am the pure spirit. I am not this body. I am not this ego. I am not this position. I am nothing but the pure spirit, Pavitra Atma. With full concentration, we have to say, we can close our eyes also if you want to fully concentrate in our heart and say that, Shri Mataji, I am the pure spirit. I am the pure Atma, Pavitra Atma. Now we will put our right hand on the forehead. We'll put our right hand on the forehead. Like this. You can see me in the video. The left hand is towards Shri Mataji and right hand on the forehead. Now here, as I was describing that everything that is being created by nature or God, what we say, the power of God Almighty, is through love. Without love, we cannot exist. So we have to love the creation of God. If we do not love the creation of God, then it is very difficult for us to exist or to be peaceful within. So I will request all of us to put our right hand on the forehead, left hand towards the photograph, and forgive everyone. So we will say that, Shri Mataji, I forgive everyone. Also, I forgive myself. So here we need to forgive everyone. It's very important. If you don't forgive, then we are just playing in wrong hands. The person we don't forgive, that person is enjoying. But we are burning ourselves by not forgiving others. So it is useless to not forgive. It is useful to forgive. Because if we forgive, we forget about that event and our stress level goes down. So just say and feel that, Shri Mataji, I forgive everybody. I forgive everybody. I forgive myself also. We have to forgive. That is the only way. I forgive everyone. Now we'll put our right hand. Now this is the last step. On the forehead, or on the upper side of that, there is a crown, above the crown of our head, that is the flat portion of the head. This is the flat portion of the head. I am showing it in the video. So this is the flat portion of the head, which is known as the frontal bone area. And this was very soft when we were when we were children. Then this area was very soft. We can observe that children have a very soft area. Due to calcification, it becomes harder. So we have to put our right hand, the right hand palm, that is central portion of the right hand palm, on our frontal bone area and stretch our. No, actually it is reversing. Actually, due to camera it is. I am putting my right hand. Okay, I am putting my right hand. I am putting my right hand on my forehead, on my frontal bone area. Left hand is towards the photograph. Left hand has to be always towards the photograph. Now we have to just request to Shri Mataji that Shri Mataji, please give me the divine self-realization. We can close our eyes with full concentration. We have to request it. Shri Mataji, please give me the divine self-realization. So we need to ask 7 times. Shri Mataji, please give me the divine self-realization. Just pray 7 times. Shri Mataji, please give me the divine self-realization. You can also say that, Shri Mataji, please give me the Param Yoga. Shri Mataji, please give me the Param Yoga, the divine yoga. So now just take your hand a little bit above the head. Just take your hand a little bit above the head. Just as if I am the same way I am doing. And left hand is towards Shri Mataji. Photograph. Just feel the divine cool breeze coming out of the frontal bone area. It will be coming out. Just concentrate it. It will be reaching your palm, and a cool breeze you will be feeling. Then put your right hand straight and left hand again on the a little bit above the frontal bone. So put both the hands towards the photograph and request that Shri Mataji, please give me the divine yoga and please let me feel the divine yoga. Just observe Shri Mataji's photograph without thinking anything. You can observe the photograph without thinking. Hopefully, yes, many of us might have felt that the cool breeze coming out of our head and or out of our hands also. Someone might be feeling it coming out of the hands also. So anybody who is feeling the cool breeze, the flowing of cool breeze from the hands or from the head, you can please type it in the chat or you can talk to me also. Yes, sir. Mhm. Yes, 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 yes. Uh, yes, yes, sir. Sir. Because exactly the same thing I'm also feeling. The thing is that this is an experience that everybody will experience it uh, in a different way. Also, they can experience it. But when we are actually putting our attention to our yoga, actually divine yoga, actually the param yoga that we say, then our subtle system starts reacting, and our subtle system starts responding to it. This is the beauty, because our entire system is alive, our entire system is sensitive, and when we desire for it, then we start achieving it. It's a fact. When we desire for it, then only we can achieve it. So when we desire for the divine yoga, param yoga, then our system starts working in that direction, and we start feeling that divine cool breeze coming out. There's the proof that the yoga has been established. The cool breeze represents the divine's love that is flowing through us. It is always flowing. We are unable to feel it actually. But when we concentrate like this for our param yoga, then we start feeling it. So I think many of us have felt it. So this is uh, there are some important links that are available. You can go through the entire thing I am sharing. The entire everything is here. One thing to be remembered here is that the Sahaj Yoga movement uh, is a spontaneous movement actually, and due to spontaneity, uh, there is no charge which is being charged. So if you are attending or practicing Sahaj Yoga, you don't have to give any charges, because it is just like taking breath. If we have to give money to God Almighty, to that the God Almighty is giving us oxygen to breathe, then I don't think we will be living too longer. So it's like that, just like that. It is a spontaneous process which is inbuilt within us, and we cannot pay for it. Actually, we cannot pay for it. This is something which is beyond the materialistic, mundane analysis. So it's completely free of cost. Just for record, I'm telling, completely free of cost. But the main thing is the spiritual connection. There is the divine connection that we establish through Sahaj Yoga. So I will request all of you to please visit the links. One link is given where the entire self-realization process is given. The video link is there. And the second link is the complete resources you will find related to Sahaj Yoga literature and the advent of Sahaj Yoga, and how the entire concept that the Puranas and the Vedas have already given, that is being proven and that is being practiced. So hopefully all have enjoyed this session, and I think many of you must be in present, not thinking about past or future, by they felt the divine cool breeze. So thank you so much for attending this session. So any doubts, any questions, please ask me. Any queries? Any queries we have? Thank you. So if you have any queries in future also, if you get any queries related to meditation or Sahaj Yoga, you can ask me through the WhatsApp, or you can mail me. Better is to use WhatsApp because I regularly check my WhatsApp messages. I will respond immediately. So thank you so much. I will stop the presentation now. So Chaitali ma'am, please continue. ma'am.
Yes, sir. It's a very nice session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Really peaceful after such a tedious technical sessions, I can say. Sir, I think feedback link is already given.
Okay.
More relaxed.
So
So I will request all the participants to please fill the feedback.
thank you so much, Partha Roy, sir, for giving your precious time here. And in fact, we should thank Partha sir for coordinating such a nice workshop,
Thank you, ma'am.
not just for the session.
It's all the matter of teamwork, ma'am.